The college basketball experience, Horizon League Conference preview on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get 100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience. Horizon League Conference preview for 2025-26. It's a fun league, man. We did not do well in this league, as Noah Bienick will get into here in a minute. Wide open last year. A lot of turnover in the coaching ranks over the last couple years in this league. We will break down all 11 teams in this league, 1 through 11, and give out our conference championship preview, and much more. Sleeper, bus team, you know the deal. Conference 22 of 31. Bienick, we're getting closer and closer. If you are wondering who you're listening to, I am Moneyline Mac, a.k.a. the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Cheers, everybody, on a Wednesday night. College football coming up next. I see the chat rocking and rolling, baby. Joining us to talk Horizon League right in his backyard. He is from the great state of Michigan. He's a LeBaron driving, cocktail napkin having. He's Noah Bienick, a.k.a. Noah B77. What's up, man?
How's it going, Mac? Yeah, backyard for sure. Went to school in Pittsburgh, got Robert Morris over there. Currently, the closest D1 to me is Oakland, not necessarily Michigan. We've also got Detroit down there, as I am residing here in Metro Detroit. So yeah, this league right in my backyard, a whole lot of fun. And it's like your Midwest is SoCon. That's basically the horizon. It's so fun, and it's like my comfort zone. Just throw it on in the middle of the week, and yeah, let's vibe. Horizon League, let's have some fun.
And especially like it when they do those Friday night games for some standalone action, so we get more eyeballs on their product. Keep doing it. Joining us, third man in the booth. This guy is also in Horizon League territory country. So he is from the Midwest, the Windy City. He is Cannabis Capper, host of the Locks and Dogs podcast. CC, what's up, man?
Mac, it's great to be here. Great to be talking Horizon League. Next year, Illinois will in fact be Horizon League territory. So, again, Milwaukee has been just a drive up the highway. So, I love the regionality. I just the small gym feel, the small conference feel. I love this conference. This is honestly outside of Mountain West. I think I probably watched the most Horizon League.
Oakland's one of my favorite places to go as like credentialed media too. They treat me so well.
Well, and they've been really good under Kampe. So
yeah,
hey, there's still some really good coaches in this league.
There's a lot of good coaches in this league.
That we'll get into. Got a couple rising coaches as well. Bienick, take it away on the recap. I know we did not do good in this league because Bob Morris swept it.
Yeah, Bob Morris does sweep the league regular season title and conference tournament title. Both you and I were kind of sucked into Milwaukee. You had Milwaukee sweeping the league last year with Bart Lundy. They finished just tied for second, which is not a bad prediction whatsoever. They also checked your box of you being of them being your sleeper team. So kudos to you there. You did get one across of your 3 Milwaukee predictions. I had Milwaukee as my tournament champ. I picked Purdue Fort Wayne as my regular season champ. They just had the most continuity, the most returning production. They go 12-8 in the league, but honestly, Detroit Mercy, Green Bay, IU Indy, they just kind of donate wins to the rest of the league. Almost everybody finishes over 500 in the horizon. So they finished, Purdue Fort Wayne finished 5th. Yeah, they were my sleeper. So they really only had 2 wins worth of improvement from the previous year. So I don't necessarily give that a check mark for me. Rounding it out for us, though, we did get 2 checks in our bust column, which was Doug Gottlieb and Green Bay. Under Sundance Wicks, it was all sunshine and rainbows as they go 18-14 overall, 13-7 in conference. Green Bay goes 4-28 overall, and 2-18 in league. So very, very correct prediction there by us. New
Is that the
faces.
best bust that we ever predicted? That's as accurate as it gets.
Yeah.
Did we pick him dead last too?
Yeah, both of us. Yeah,
Hilarious.
we had IU Indy. So IU Indy has a new face.
Mhm.
We don't have to get into what happened in their decision of firing their previous head coach and Caruso, but Ben Howlett comes in from D2 West Liberty, and he brings over a couple of guys from his team. Should be plenty of fun there to watch IU Indy basketball, a unique style of play that we'll talk about in a minute. And then from Cleveland State, you have Rob Summers and Mac. This guy at Cleveland State, I think he was there prior, correct?
Mm-hmm. With Dennis Gates. He is a former Mountaineer. He played for Beeline. He was on Hugs' staff. So this is a Hugs tree guy, Beeline Hugs tree or Beeline tree guy as well. And Howlett, I'm familiar with Howlett too. His team's at West Lib in the state of West Virginia. So they were really, really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new hires in this league, and this is going to be a fun Horizon League, man.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I do believe, like we know somebody up there in the athletic department for the IU Indy, and Howlett was under consideration last year too. So it wasn't like they had to go out and conduct a whole new search. They kind of knew exactly who they were going to bring in if something had happened, and then they weren't wishing upon that, but they ended up needing to fire their guy that they had. It was a relatively entertaining year once again. They were slightly better than they were in previous seasons, and then their bus exploded as well. That was a great news story that we were at the forefront of breaking. But yeah, the Horizon League, never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment, and let's get into it, man. We got 11 teams to preview, but before we do so, the Load Management League is running hot and heavy now. So get on over there, check out the NBA Gambling Podcast for daily picks and podcasts. Tune into the NBA Podcast wherever you get your podcasts today. First up, we got Rob Summers coming over here to Cleveland State. He was with Dennis Gates from 19 to 22. He also was at Missouri the last year when they went on a run here with a nice bounce back year. I mentioned it. Rob Summers played at West Virginia under John Beeline, and hey man, I like the hire. I'll be a little bit biased because he is a Mountaineer, of course, and I like Rob personally. But I like bringing back one of the guys that was a part of what was a really nice 3-year run there under Dennis Gates and company. And from there, he went over to Miami of Ohio for a year and then bounced over with Dennis Gates at Missouri. He does have some head coaching experience at Urbana, where he elevated the program from 2 wins to 12 wins. I know his record isn't very good overall, but he took over an Urbana team that was god awful and was able to almost get him to 500 before jumping over and joining Dennis Gates' staff. Bienick, what are your thoughts on these new look Vikings here with Danielle Robinson going down to North Texas?
Yeah, and I was just about to mention, if you didn't mention Daniel Robinson there, going to North Texas, he had 2 14-win seasons, another 11-win season, like really good tenure here with the Vikings. So, what happens when you have a new coach is it's a completely clean slate. Everybody basically leaves. And it's a transfer portal team for Summers in year 1. Being a Beeline guy, being a West Virginia guy, they're going to come in here. And I mean, Beeline was at the forefront of kind of shooting efficiency, and we're not afraid to take the outside shot. And He was a very good talent developer as well. So you'll see that this roster, there's a couple of seniors, yes, but wasn't afraid to go a little bit more with inexperience and youth in the portal and hoping to retain some of these guys. At the point guard position, you're going to have some time split between Ice Emery from Western Carolina. He played 24 and a half minutes a game last year. He's a 6-foot senior guard, averaged 2 assists. He shot 5.5 threes a game last year, but not at a great clip at 28.5%. You'll see that as a theme in this transfer portal class. A lot of shooters, not necessarily a ton of them that drilled him with efficiency, but one that did was Trey Beard, but he did it at the NAIA level, Shawnee State. He hit 47.5% of his threes, averaged 19 points per game. He's a 5'10 senior guard. We'll see how well that plays in the Horizon League, and if there's any transition problems with him and his size, as mainly he's going to fill in at the point, but I think they want him on the wing and his shooting ability out there. So we'll see what kind of plays Summers is able to draw him up and get him open, because he is a dead eye when he launches them. Foster Wonders shot a ton last year, 5 threes a game for Green Bay, only hit him at a 28% clip. He played 22 and a half minutes a game last year. He's a 6'5 redshirt senior wing. You have Josiah Harris, who's a 6'7 junior forward who shot 5.5 threes a game at a 33% clip. He played 23 and a half minutes a game for Akron last year. You have Jaden Lipscomb coming in from FIU, took 2 threes a game in just 10 and a half minutes a game. Another Western Carolina transfer coming in with Ice Emery is Kamari Jones. He only played 3 minutes a game in his first year of basketball, so he'll get more runway to play this year. Dayon Nessa is going to mix in the front court. He was a freshman last year at George Washington, played under 7 minutes a game. Priest Ryan, in his freshman year at Howard College, which is a junior college, he was an absolute star. This is a guy that they're pretty high on. He's a sophomore this year, 6'6 forward. And we'll see what kind of impact he can play, because I think they're relying on this guy to be their best player. He averaged 16.5 points per game, 5.5 boards, just over assists a game as well in that front court. And he's a big piece for this Cleveland State team. You've also got a couple of D2, D3 transfers in Lucas Burton, Manny Hill, David Giddens, and Holden Pierre Lewis coming in from Temple, who basically barely saw the floor his freshman year with the Owls. I think it's going to be a slow burn for Cleveland State this year. I've got them more in the middle of the pack, not necessarily contending for a title as they have in years past. And we're going to see how Rob Summers does in year one. Capper, how do you feel about the Vikings this year?
Okay, so first off, Cleveland State was kind of one of my adopted teams in the Horizon League. 2 years ago, I thought they were going to, maybe make a tournament run. They did not. Last year, my expectations were not very high for this team. They actually had a really nice year. Under Daniel Robinson, their teams are typically pretty chippy and pretty disciplined.
Yes.
I feel like under Rob Summers, he's looking to play like a bit more open style. He wants to play a bit faster. We'll have to see how that plays. I have a feeling in year one he's going to take some lumps. Year one to me is usually about setting the tone, building the culture, building the programs, getting a system in place. I think we're going to see that. I don't think they're going to be able to match last year's success, but I don't think it's going to be a disaster year that we typically see for a lot of these first year coaches and coming into some these mid-major programs. So I'm intrigued by the roster. I'm excited to see it. It's going to play faster. But I think you're going to see, you're definitely going to see it look a bit ragged, especially in the non-con. But I think towards the end of conference play season, they're going to be a team that folks don't want to play. So I'm excited to see where he takes this program. I really am.
I agree. I have I have these Vikings in the middle of the pack. If you look back at Dennis Gates' 3-year tenure, where Rob was with Gates for all 3 years, they took a little bit on the chin in year number 1, but they were chippy late, and then in years 2 and 3, that's where they were able to elevate the program, get it to where he could get to a job like Missouri. So yeah, a lot of moving pieces here, like some of the portal gets. I think that they will be better late than early. So yeah, sign me up for a middle of the pack finish for the Vikings, year number 1 of Rob Summers. Next up, we got the hospital. Detroit Mercy here. We got Mark Montgomery, longtime assistant of Tom Izzo. Last year goes 8-24, but I mean, dude, they were better than. I mean, it was an upgrade from where they were the year before.
They won more than one conference game.
Yeah, and they were chippy in a lot of those.
They were
too. Like I felt like they were better than that 4-16 conference record. So I think they ran out of gas. They didn't have enough depth to get through league play, a 20-game schedule. Do we see a jump here in year 2, Noah?
I think we do because you have a lot of returning production on this team, and that's what Tom Izzo's program at Michigan State thrives on is just being in the system, developing that talent, and being nasty on defense. And the most important gets are sometimes the ones that are still were on your team the previous year. Orlando Lovejoy returns for another year, and this guy coming back to run the point one more time with some relative youth is huge for the Titans. He's a 6'3" senior guard for this upcoming year. Last year, he played 35 minutes a game, 16.5 points, 4.5 boards, 4 assists, over a steal and a half per game. He's just so important to what Detroit is trying to do on the offensive side of the floor. And then on the defensive side of the floor, you've got TJ Nadeau, who was a freshman last year, played 24 minutes a game. Nate Johnson was a freshman last year, 6'7" wing, played 30 minutes a game. Legend Jeter was a newcomer last year. I believe he was a DePaul grad capper, if I'm not mistaken. He was a 6'8" redshirt senior, played 24 minutes a game. Ryan Kalambe, the 5, played 18 minutes a game last year. All of these guys are pretty stingy defenders. I will say I'm not knocking Lovejoy at all, but he's just so important to this team on the offensive side of the floor. Jeter has some dynamicism to his game. He could shoot the 3 ball as a big man too. Nadeau and Johnson both looking to improve the shot this year out there on the wing offensively, but defensively, you know what you're going to get from this group. Detroit last year under Montgomery was around the middle of the pack, and that's still, like Max said, a step up here. Just 3 newcomers for this team this year. You've got London Maiden from Blinn Junior College, a really good program in the JUCO there down in Texas. 6'8" junior forward, average 11.5 and 6. You got a D2 transfer from in-state Walsh College, Aiden Carter, who is a star there, and then a Cleveland State transfer who redshirted last season in Tyler Spratt. You know he's going to be a pretty good defender as well, just how their program had operated the last decade. Detroit, I think they're going to steadily climb up the ranks here a little bit. Last year, 4 wins. I could see them doubling the win total here. I still got them in the bottom half, but heading in the right direction. Program trajectory is where you want it to be right now if you're Detroit.
Yeah, no, what's interesting to me is that it's not just that he has, first off, I think depth is going to continue to be an issue for this team. It's not a very deep roster, but they have 5 incoming freshmen coming in. And a few of them are expected to actually fight for playing time. They have a guard named Lance Stone, local kid. They claim he's the quickest player in the team. So we'll have to see if that actually translates into playing time. But it's kind of cool that he's got that next generation, they're playing the seeds for the next generation of this team. They're going to continue to take their lumps. They're in the bottom half, but the arrow is definitely pointed up. And I think you're going to see. I'll say, if they won 4 games in conference last year, is that right?
Yeah.
I think they get to 6 or more.
Okay. Yeah, depth definitely a concern. Youth and inexperience there, but by far they return the most minutes in the league, and that's something you gotta love.
It is. No, but still, just the depth concerns for league play are going to show up again. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
So you guys have make it a step, but not. I mean, what's the ceiling? Middle of the pack?
I think the ceiling's 500.
Okay.
I'll say ceiling slightly below 500.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have them in the bottom half, but I think they're going to be chippy as a dog team. If you, for gambling purposes, that will cover. Like you said, they bring back a lot of continuity off that team, but the team wasn't that good at the same time. But I think they make a step, 6 or 7 wins in league play. So let's go Hospital. Team number 3. Oh, here we go. Doug Gottlieb doesn't need an introduction. Was a train wreck last year. I know they had injuries. I know it was his first year head coach trying to figure out the landscape.
Trying to figure out how high a basketball net should sit.
Yeah. How to do a radio show, a podcast while you're trying to coach your team.
Has he learned? Is he still doing the radio show? I don't pay attention to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What a
Yeah.
clown.
1000%. He
Yeah.
makes
I'm
probably a
gonna
little
say
bit more on the radio show than coaching.
I'm gonna fade this team again. So Noah, take it away.
They do return 2 starters, and both of them were good players last year. I
Oh,
will start off with
how good could they be? They're 428.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be great. I was just starting off the positives. Marcus Hall and Preston Rudinger are back. Hall shot 5.5 threes a game at 36.5%, averaged 14, 4, and 2.5. You got Rudinger, who took 3.5 threes a game at a 36.5% clip for this team, played 34 minutes a game last year. He's a redshirt senior for this upcoming season. And then you got some JUCO guys coming in, along with some freshmen or redshirted freshmen from last year. So, again, one of those inexperienced benches here for Green Bay in the league. But they do have some of the most returning production in that, because you also have Mac Reck, who played 20 minutes a game for these guys. His freshman year there, and we'll see how little he may play this year. Some of the JUCO guys they're relatively excited about. You've got LeBron Thomas, 6'3" junior point guard coming in from Vincennes. He was ranked inside the top 30 in JUCOrecruiting.com's portal rankings. He averaged 14.5 points per game, 6 assists, 4 boards. You have Justin Allen coming in from D3 Carnegie Mellon over there in Metro Pittsburgh. He's a 6'4" senior guard who averaged 25.5 points per game, 4.5 boards, over 2 assists, shot 32% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. You got Ramel Bethea, a 6'9" sophomore forward coming in from Miracosta Junior College. Mac, take a guess at how old Bethea is as a sophomore.
26.
He's 29. Shout out to the Jim Root roster sheet for that one. From my hometown, Josh Hines coming in from Macomb Community College. 21 points per game, 5.5 boards, 3 assists. We'll see how much of an impact he's going to make. Green Bay, definitely one of your basement teams. I have a lot more faith in Montgomery being a good head coach than Gottlieb. But again, some returning production that you like. Overall, I don't think that the ceiling is very high. Capper, what do you think?
I'm trying to build a case for improvement, and I really can't see it. I don't think Gottlieb is taking. I think it's obvious where his focus is, and it's on building a program here. I really got to question a lot. I mean, like they brought in LeBron Thomas. Do you think he just told his assistants to go get LeBron, and this is what they did? I don't know what to do. I generally I'd like to build a case for him to get out of the basement, but I just don't see it. Kind of rudderless. Like I don't. They didn't have much of an identity last year. And some of the comments from Gottlieb, like he was looking for what was it, toughness. He was looking for, what is it? We recruited everybody based upon toughness and character. Those two things win you games. I don't. I mean, so did last year's team not have any toughness or character? Is that the takeaway? I don't know. Either way, I'm not a fan of this program.
No, it's not a serious program.
No.
I mean, when your coach is doing a radio show every day, trying to reorganize your schedule to accommodate that, it's not a serious program. This is Division I basketball. This isn't the YMCA. So yeah, they'll finish 11 out of 11 again. And good luck, Gottlieb. So next up is Underdog. Actually, not Underdog. It's MyBookie.ag, a proud sponsor over here at the college experience. So get on over there, MyBookie.ag. is your place to bet on football and basketball and everything else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Get on over there to mybookie.ag. Use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for a new customer. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code is TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig is getting the best prices out there, available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. All right, get Gottlieb off the screen. Yeah. Let's go over to IU Indy, new era here. We got Ben Howlett, who was a successful Division II coach at West Liberty in the state of West Virginia for the last 8 years, where he was 217-37, 147-19 in conference games. Went to multiple national championships, multiple second weekend appearances. I will say West Liberty is a really, really good Division II job and has been for quite a while. They have a unique style, get up and down, shoot a bunch of threes, open it up. Bienick, what's you high on our Jaguars here?
Yeah, I'm relatively high on this group because there's plenty of continuity with this team once again. With a guy, you had Indy U's D2 coach bringing his entire team in last year, but they were without some star players. D2 West Liberty's coach here, Ben Howlett, brings some of his best players in with him to IU Indy for this upcoming year. It's a very interesting style of ball. I was reading a Basket Under Review
A lot of threes.
article. Sorry?
A lot of threes.
Yeah, I was reading a Basket Under Review article on these guys, and it's like for an entire week straight, you're playing like so the system is you're nonstop running is basically what it is. You're pressing, and on offense you're getting down in transition. If you're not getting a bucket in transition, you're going to pull up from three with whatever system that they're running here offensively. But yeah, like their way of getting in shape is you're just playing basketball for a straight 120 minutes, no break. So that's how they're getting conditioned here at formerly West Liberty, now here at IU Indy. Yeah, Kyler DiAugustino is coming in. He averaged 17.5 points per game, 4 boards, 2 assists, over a steal and a half per game at West Liberty last year. He's coming in to be a point guard for these guys, but they're also able to play through their bigs. You look at Finley Woodward, who is also one of these West Liberty guys that comes in. He averaged 5 assists a game. He's a 6'7" forward. JP Dragas played 18.5 minutes in the system his freshman year. He comes in with Howlett to IU Indy. He averaged 9 points per game, 2 assists, shot 46.5% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game. And the other West Liberty grab is Cameron Tinsley, who played 21.5 minutes a game in this system. His freshman year averaged 11, 4.5, shot 44.5% from 3 on 4 threes per game. But he not necessarily fits into the front court because of my guy, Aiden Miller from D2 Point Park. He was our best player last year for the team. Averaged basically a double-double. And we used to be NAI last year. We made the transition to D2 in the like Mountain State Conference or whatever it's called. I don't even know. But yeah, he basically averaged a double-double last year, shot 37% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game. You got Jackson Edwards transferring in here from St. Bonaventure. I don't know what he thinks he's walking into, but this should be fun. He's a 6'5" senior who only played 7 minutes a game last year. You got an NAI transfer from Dalton State and Matt Compass. He's a graduate senior 6'4" guard who played 30 minutes a game, averaged 18.5 points per game, shot 35% from 3, 61% from the floor, averaged 18.5, 4.5, and over an assist and a half per game. And then a couple of freshmen that that Howlett brings with him over to IU Indy in that recruiting class. It's a very fun group. We've talked about it on other conference previews. I'm not putting the expectation of these guys are going to come in, hit the ground running like a Josh Schertz at Indiana State or a Ben McCullum at Drake. Those guys previously were like Final Four D2 coaches or JUCO coaches that were nationally good. And with Howlett, he was nationally good, but not to that necessarily level. And also, IU Indy's not the program that Drake and Indiana State are. Like, that's not the expectation here.
Sure.
But I do think that this team's got a good chance to be over 500. It's going to be a hell of a time prepping for these guys because the Horizon League's not seen anything like this. And I think there's a relatively positive outcome for these guys. I don't have them in my top 4, but I've got them above 500 for sure.
Okay. Noah, how similar is this to the situation in Denver?
I was just getting ready to say, like, them and Denver are similar where they're going to take a step up from the basement, but they're not going to be Drake and Indiana State, to Noah's point.
Okay. Yeah, as far Jackson Edwards, he actually committed to IU Indy under Coursero, and decided to stay after meeting Howlett.
Gotcha.
So that's the story as far as his recruitment goes, as far as his recruiting goes.
So again, he didn't volunteer for what's coming.
He kind of did. He talked to him. He's like, all right, yeah, I'll stick around.
Yeah.
The other one that's kind of interesting is one of the freshmen. Kid's name is on the sheet, Reese Hagee. He actually committed to West Liberty and came along with Howlett as well.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a team we're going to want to back early.
Oh yeah,
just like Denver. I mean, they're going to be catching ridiculous numbers based off their record last year, and they should be a covering machine with their style of play. Just because they have a brand of basketball, they have an identity. So yeah, I'm buying into the Jags here. I got them in the middle as well. I think that this is a nice. I like the hire. It's outside the box, just like Denver. So I'm in on IUPUI, just like Denver.
A shitload of energy. They don't stop pressing and they don't stop running. Like literally impossible to stop.
What I'm hearing is team total overs and game total overs.
Yes, I do worry about them covering. Like getting backdoored just with how much volume will be involved.
Yeah, I mean, just there's going to be so many possessions in games.
Like Cal Poly last year. Those games, like they got back. They were great covering, but then
very similar to Cal Poly and George.
Yeah,
they were right on that
because they kept getting backdoored because they were playing such a hectic pace where they would be tied and then they lose by 24. It was ridiculous. Speaking of a guy that can cover, this is Bart Lundy. This is one of the more underrated coaches, honestly, in all of America. He was, speaking of D2, he was awesome at Queens for years and years and years, and he was great at High Point as well before taking the Queens job multiple times. So a guy, he has not won a national championship at Queens, but he has been right there multiple times. Sweet 16s, Final Fours, Elite Eights. Then he comes over to Milwaukee, 3 straight 20-plus win seasons. You can pencil this in for another 20-plus win season because Bart Lundy knows how to win. They have an identity. They're tough. Love Bart Lundy.
I'm going to disagree maybe on the pencil it in as 20-plus wins. I don't know how aggressive.
Bart Lundy.
Really?
I don't know how aggressively they scheduled the non-conference. Let's take a look at that at the end here. But I mean, continuity really helped them out in year 3 where they had the best year in their program. Top 3 offense, top 3 defense for Milwaukee there under Bart Lundy. In previous seasons, they were hovering around the middle of the pack in both offense and defense. But in the top half of the standings. I mean, there's so many free wins, or there used to be so many free wins. I think the bottom of the league has taken a step up this year, and you're just not going to see 8 of the 11 teams above 500. That's the issue that I have, and that's why I pushed back off the top there. The other reason is they just don't return a starter. They lose all 5 guys from last year. They do have a good old front court that were all rotation players last year and will step into bigger roles this year. Faison Fields is the name to know. He's a 6'10 grad senior, played 18.5 minutes a game last year, averaged 6.5 and 5, shot 62% from the field. His Robin in that front court's John Lovelace, Jr., who's a 6'8 senior forward, played 14.5 minutes a game last year. He can step out and shoot it for you, shot 37% from deep. A guy they're high on is the Toledo transfer, Seth Hubbard. He played 21 minutes for the Rockets last year. He wasn't a tremendous fit for the Rockets and their dynamic offense. He did not shoot it well last year, but again, there's reason to dream on Hubbard coming in and adding a little bit of a spike and pop for offense, along with Amar Gillard. In his freshman year at Fresno State last year, he played 20.5 minutes a game. He also, like, known as a shooter, didn't have a great year one, and they kicked him off the team. So that's a weird ordeal there. But he's here with Milwaukee and should play big minutes for them on the wing. Isaiah Dorsius is the Daytona State transfer coming in, probably playing the point. He averaged 14, 4, and 4 with Daytona State last year. He was ranked 51st in JUCOrecruiting.com. The bench has some seniors on it, and Aaron Franklin and Danilo Jovanovic. Both of them seniors, both of them wings. And they also have Chandler Jackson, a 6'7 redshirt junior transferring in from Parkland, a D2 school. He averaged 16.5 and 7.5, and then a redshirt DePaul freshman coming in, Sekou Kone. And that's some of their experience on the roster. Bart Lundy's a hell of a coach. I personally am not a fan of the roster,
Really?
and I've got them top half, but I don't have them as a contender this year, Mac.
Okay.
Don't overthink it, Bienick.
Yeah. Okay. Spoiler alert. Actually, I did a write up for SGP, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I have Milwaukee winning the conference. So
let's go.
Horizon League, we actually have odds on it. One book in particular we have odds on. They're 5-1 to win the conference. I thought that was a steal.
Who's the favorite?
It's kind of where I view them. Maybe a little bit higher.
I want to say it was Youngstown was the favorite.
Yeah.
Or Oakland.
I'm pretty sure it was Youngstown.
Okay.
We can go through it at the end if you want.
Let's do it at the end.
Yeah. But either way, I like the backcourt. I think it really kind of depends on Dorsius and how good, if he's going to be able to, that's going to be able to translate. I think it will. He was like a player of the year in his conference last year. So really high on Dorsius. I like the Aguilar get. I think there's talent there, and I think Fresno State was just such a mess, and also there may have been some other things going on, with Fresno State that, who knows what that situation was like. It was weird. I'm guessing Milwaukee is going to be a bit more normal. I like the front court with Lovelace and Fields. I think that's a good combination. I'm actually really excited for this team, and I like them to win the conference. They're going to be in my absolute number one. I love this team.
I think that their guards are better than you're giving them credit for. I know they're new faces, but Lundy was at a D2 and he had to replace his roster every single year. So I just trust their eye for talent and them reloading year after year after year. And 2 years ago, they lost a ton as well, and they still won 20 games. I think it's more of the same. Bart Lundy's a coach. I'm in on this team. Top 4 finish once again.
There was so much continuity on that team last year, and they still didn't win the league. I don't see it how you could have this team winning the league, let alone, I think, contending.
Year after the year.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Year after the year. It's a good roster.
2 years ago, they lost a ton, and year one, they had to replace, or they had to revamp the roster, and they won 20 both those years. It's Bart Lundy.
I don't have him. I know it's Bart Lundy, and I said I haven't taken a step back. That's why
I put that 497 and 227. Just a reminder.
Step forward.
Darrin Horn
from second place is tough. That's tough.
Step forward.
Don't return a starter.
It's a short step.
Let's talk these Norse, man, because Horn has Horn has been an interesting tenure here at Northern Kentucky. They have kind of taken a little bit of a step back the last couple of years from that top 3 area, where they've kind of been more middle of the pack lately. They have been to 2 NCAA tournaments in his 6 years. Obviously, he was good at Western Kentucky before South Carolina, where he phased out. Well, I mean, what do you think of these Norse? More in the middle of the pack again, Noah, or can they bounce back and get back into that top 3-4 range?
Yeah, so I'm smelling that my standings are going to look a lot different. I'm trusting some of the consistent programs in this league a little bit more, maybe than you guys. Because I have Northern Kentucky taking a step back, and I look at this backcourt and I see so much experience to love. You have Donovan O'Day transferring in from Cal State Fullerton. Shot 31% from 3, averaged 13 points per game, 5 boards. Sean Nelson was also active on the glass in D2 at Barton. He's a 6'4" senior, provides some length, really good defensive guard as well. 19 points per game, 5.5 boards, 4.5 assists, over a steal per game as well. Shot 41% from 3. Dan Goresger is a returning senior for this team. He played 21 minutes a game last year. Averaged 7.5 points, shot 34% from 3 on 3 attempts per game. And then you've got a 6'7" graduate senior coming in from D2 Montana State Billings. We just talked about that team this week with Denver, that was different Montana State. We'll talk about Montana State Billings coming up this week, maybe, because I remember looking into this team. And Kale Robinson was a really good player, 17.5 points per game, 7 boards, can pass it out of the post as well. Well, he played the 5 for them last year, and he won't necessarily be the rim protector for this team this season. He shot 37% from 3. LJ Wells is a senior who returns, and he's probably going to be their 5 this season. He played 21.5 minutes a game last year. Was not the starter. He's going to have more runway to go this year. And he averaged a block a game in just 21 minutes, averaged 7.5 and 5.5. The bench has Addison Arger coming from Ranger, Tay Dozier coming from Georgetown Junior College, which is NAI. He played 29 minutes a game there. I just really like the experience in the starting 5. There's positional length here. There's good defense with Darrin Horn that you can count on. I have NKU in the top half of the standings here. I don't have them as a contender either, but I got the Norse definitely climbing back into where they once were just a few years back.
Okay. I see them as kind of a blob team. I don't the roster. I really struggled with this one. They had to replace a fair bit in that backcourt, and I see a bit of a talent gap. I don't, and there's a lot of freshmen on this roster. I definitely see this as a step back here, but I definitely see them like a middle of the pack step back. From that perspective, this is going to be a hard one to place just because there's a lot of moving pieces with this roster.
In Horn's 6 seasons, in 5 of them, he's had a top 2 defense in the league. Last year was the only year he didn't, and it was a year when they took a step back. Every other season, they've been near the top of the standings. Like, when you're chastising me on, Bart Lundy, it's Bart Lundy, I want the same for Darrin Horn, too. Come on, guys.
I don't see... I see that Milwaukee's a better roster than Northern Kentucky does.
Oh, I don't know.
Bart Lundy's better coach than Darrin Horn.
I think so too.
Oh, come on.
What I mean, Darrin Horn's all. I mean, Northern Kentucky has been a good job for years and years. Milwaukee wasn't really a good job when Bart Lundy got there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is I'm a little bit higher on Wright State and Northern Kentucky and Oakland, who have been there, done that in this league, compared to Milwaukee, who really hasn't.
They finished second last year.
That was their best year.
Yeah, they've also won 20+ 3 straight years.
Yeah, arrow's pointing up.
Well, I mean, how aggressive are they scheduling in non-conference, though?
I think Northern Kentucky, middle of the pack, they are a weird team from an identity standpoint. They junk it up. They play a lot of zone here and there. Some roster turnover. I think middle of the pack, but the Norse are always chippy in that Horizon League tournament, especially under Horn. So, yeah, count me in for 5th or 6th again here. I think
Middle of the pack. Yeah, I don't think you're out of pocket, Mac. I don't think you're out of pocket at all. Oh God.
yeah, baby. Look at this picture I got. Hey, Kampe, man. Love me some Greg Kampe. This is a guy I could get on board with. Obviously, Kampe 2 years ago, the special year, year number 40, where they get to the NCAA tournament. They pull off the upset over Kentucky. Last year, all things considered, I think a good year. I like they lost a ton off that.
Yeah, they lost so much.
Yeah, and they still finish over 500 in the league play. Do we get a little bit of a boomerang here? Maybe split the difference, Noah, between 24 and 25?
Yeah, I agree with split the difference. I definitely think that they're with Kampe. I think this is a top 4 program. Last year they didn't have that because of such a slow start. They were trying to figure out roles. I remember it was either their November or Christmas tournament, and I fell in love with Malcolm Christie, and then he just barely played in conference. And they were really just tweaking with lineups. And DQ Cole wasn't much of a point guard, and he had to step into that role last year, and it was pretty clear that that was definitely a transition year for Kampe. Unfortunately, not able to keep any of that roster together. And he, again, as a guy that loves the 3-point shooting, and he's going to toss that junk zone at you, just a matchup zone. They rely on length, they rely on shooting, and I think they've got that this year with this roster. Outside of Brody Robinson, who's going to be their starting point guard. He comes in from UT Arlington, and you're going to love this guy on the ball. 5'11", played 31 minutes a game for the Mavericks last year, shot 40% from 3 on 4 attempts a game, averaged 4.5 assists. He's going to be like such a big piece for the Golden Grizzlies this season. There's 3 other projected starters that are seniors. Zaire Williams comes in from D2 Lenoir Ryan, where he shot 39% from 3, averaged 16.5 points per game. Michael Hoagie comes in from Jacksonville State. He's a 6'7", fifth-year guy who, in the front court, this guy's going to be so massive for them because they're so bad at rebounding year after year. He averaged 8.5 and 7.5. And same with Tuberu, who comes back from last year. He averaged 14 and 7. Like, again, such an important piece for these guys. Last year, they were able to figure out that, he was one of their guys, and they let him run, and he turned into a monster down the stretch. And that was one reason why, Oakland kind of began to turn it on late. Same with Nassim Mashour, who his freshman year, he only had 14 minutes a game. He's going to have a little bit more runway. He shot the 3-ball 42% last year. On the bench, they've got a couple of heralded junior college recruits in Coy Thurman and Isaac Garrett, both of them top 25 guys out of junior college, both of them coming from winning programs there, Panola and Snow, respectively, there for Thurman and Garrett. Thurman averaged 15 points per game, 4 boards, 6.5 assists. Garrett, 14 points per game, 7 boards, 3 assists. Both of them, again, very big pieces to this operation for this upcoming year. And same with Brett White, just another guy that they're going to pluck into the system, try him out in a Jack Golke role. Last year, he took 6 threes a game at a 38.5% clip for Rochester Christian, right down the road from Oakland. It's literally a 2-minute drive off of their campus. He was an absolute stud. Played 36 minutes a game, averaged 21 points, 7.5 boards. Brett White, Thurman, Garrett. I think they're really good calculated gambles by Kampe. I think they've got the length and experience to run this zone because Lenoir Ryan is a D2 zone school as well. I think Kampe definitely knows what he's doing here, and I have Oakland returning into the top 4 of the standings this season.
I've got him top 3. I love the size, the length, the athleticism. I see how the rotation kind of fits together. It's a deep roster, which I really like for conference play. So your guy Tuberu
Yeah, I wasn't even going to try for the last
I know
name.
you waved the white flag. I gave it a
Too
shot. But I think he could be a player of the year candidate. Especially, if he gets like a full-time run, I guess, in that front court. I love this team. I think they're going to be right there with my Milwaukee Panthers. I really do.
The only knock I'll have on Kampe is he has not finished in the top 5 out of the last 6 years. So they have been consistently like in that 5-6 outside of the really special year with Golke since 2020. And I think a lot of it is just their style of play. It's so unique.
So hard to learn with this portal era. Like
Correct.
So many new guys.
And I think the teams that see them in league multiple times, it's an advantage for them compared to when they get to an NCAA tournament and play Kentucky that hasn't seen the zone like that. And we've seen Kampe win multiple bye games over his career. I think that's where he's really good. So I have him. I have him obviously in the top half. The floor is always high with Kampe. They're not finishing worse than 6 in any year under Kampe. So probably going to have him in the top 4, though. I think the roster is good. Kampe is getting up there. 715 wins. Obviously, one of my favorite coaches.
He's still chippy as hell, though. Like he's still got 10 more years, man.
I hope so, man. I love me some Greg Kampe. So I also love me some Underdog Fantasy, man. So get on over there to Underdog. Pull up the banner. There we go. Underdog is a great place to play fantasy pick'em where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available for a ton of sports. Underdog's got a brand new offer with new customers. Play just $5 and get 100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is crushing it in college football and NFL with picks and props. Rhythm is also giving away weekly cash and prizes for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets in the same type for any model you build, and you can win up to $1,000. Use your promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off for your first month. Download the Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. Jon Coffman, friend of the program here. Last year, they did have a lot of hype because they had a ton coming back off the year before. I did have a little bit of worry that they were getting too much hype coming into the year, but Coffman's a good coach, man. You look at it, 3 out of the last 4 years, they've had a winning record in the Horizon. They were good in the Summit League before that. He has been there now, year number 11. Almost won 20 games last year, so you look at it now, 42 wins in 2 years. They're doing a good job with the portal NIL era. Coffman and company, they have an identity. They're unique offensively. Noah, what you think here with these old
Mastodons?
Yeah. What's their mascot again?
Mastodon.
Yeah, Mastodon.
Yeah. I don't love them nearly as much as I did last year, mainly because they had so much coming back in that system. This year, though, I do like the transfer portal grabs, and then Maximus Nelson is the name that you need to know. 6'8" senior forward, played 23 minutes a game last year, shot 40.5% from 3 on 5.5 attempts a game. He's going to have a whole lot more runway this year as they don't return, a number one option for them offensively, and I think he's going to become that. Just one starter returning. And that's Corey Hadnot, who played 22.5 minutes a game for the backcourt last year, shot 39% from 3. He averaged 9 points per game, 2 boards, just over assist and a half. The 2 transfer guards that I like are Mikhail Stevenson, a 6'2", fifth-year guy from Grambling State. He averaged 4 assists, 4 boards, 11 points per game. He's a really good defender. And then DeAndre Craig from Denver, adds a lot of shooting for you. He shot 39% from 3 on 3.5 attempts a game, averaged 13.5 points, 3.5 boards, 2.5 assists. In the front court is where I have some questions. Darius Duffy, in conference transfer. He's a 6'8" grad senior coming in from Milwaukee. Played 16 minutes a game for the Panthers last year. They've also got D'Angelo Alisi coming back. He played 9 minutes a game. And then a red shirt from St. Bonaventure transfers in, Ibrahim Kaba. So we'll see if he's able to pan out. I think that he should get some opportunity for sure for the Mastodons, but overall, I question the depth. It's really young and experienced, and there's not, a whole lot to love here. The starting five, and then it just falls off really fast. Capper, how about PFW?
Okay. I in doing my research on this, Kaufman is actually really high on his team's depth, believe it or not.
He's always positive.
Oh, is he?
I had him on the show. Now they always have a high floor though in this program. The wheels will not fall off this program.
I don't see the wheels falling off. I do have them as an upper half. I don't see a team that's going to be able to break through into that top four. But I do like them to finish in the upper half of the league. Just given the fact that the program has been built over the past few years, we've actually seen it. We've seen some improvement in that regard. I don't see them breaking through to the top, but I like the roster. I think it's a solid team, but it's not going to be one that's going to be competing for for the regular season champion or really in the tournament. I think they're going to bounce pretty early.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the year after the year with Fort Wayne. Kaufman is a guy I think that he's a high energy. He coaches hard. Where you bring a bunch of guys back, maybe he can wear on them a little bit. He gets a new group in, and I think it's more of a fresh voice. So they have an identity, man. They're always good offensively. They spread you out. They'll be in the top half for me for sure. I like I said, man, the floor does not fall out with this program. They will find a way his worst year was what? The first year was a bad year, 6-14, but after that, the worst year was 9-11. So kind of middle of the pack more is what this program is. I think they're a little bit better than that here in year number. What year is Kaufman in? Year 11 now?
Yeah, 11.
Yeah. Damn, he's been there for a minute. So yeah,
Jon
Coffman. Andy Toole, breakthrough year last year, 26-9, sweeps both the regular season and conference championship. Toole has been there forever. I remember Andy Toole was there when I was in high school.
Well, he was such a hot name to jump up from the NEC, and he just never capitalized on one of the jobs that he was linked to, and then they transferred into the Horizon, and they struggled,
and it took him a minute. Yeah. And I told you a couple years ago, this is a proud program, and he finally got him across. Here we go. They're going to take a step back.
They have to.
Last year was a special year for these old Colonials. So, Noah, break down the roster.
I have it as a flash in the pan success from last year. You look at this team, and they really lack D1 experience. The D1 transfers coming in didn't play a whole lot last year, or you've got a bunch of D2 JUCO guys coming in or freshmen. The big name here is Cam Wilds from Clarion, who is a D2 school in Pennsylvania in Western PA, where Robert Morris is. Wilds is a 6'6" senior guard who shot 46.5% from three, averaged 21 points per game and 5.5 boards. You're going to pair him up with another D2 guard from Southern Connecticut State, who is an absolute scorer as well. Shot 41% from three, 17.5 points per game, 5.5 assists, 2.5 steals per game, as well as a 5'10" senior guard. I'm not quite sure how much the defense is going to be able to translate into this league. He's going to be kind of like a pressure guard, which is a little bit different from how Robert Morris acted last year. They did get more athletic last year, and I do like that attempt to stay athletic through this portal, because you have Ryan Prather Jr. coming back as well, a redshirt junior, played 24 minutes for these guys last year, shot 40% from 3 on 4 attempts a game. And then the front court last year, where their success was with the Spanish big man Alvaro Forgueres, and they bring in another one, Nicholas Shitakudis from NCA&T. He played 29 minutes a game last year for the Aggies, averaged 11 and 9, and he is going to be such a big piece for this team as a rim protector, offensive piece down low. That's going to be, they're going to try to emulate that same success with Fulgaris, and we'll see how that goes. Deshaun Goody comes in last year as a freshman in this league for IU Indy, played 23 minutes a game, averaged 8 and 6. And yeah, he shot 50.5% from the floor. You have an Arkansas State transfer, big man, who played just 6.5 minutes a game. Caleb Brown comes in from Fullerton, a 6'7" senior forward who only played 21 minutes a game. Wasn't a very good offensive piece at all for the Titans there. And then Tazir Smith redshirted last year for Louisiana Monroe. He transfers in. You've got another big international, Ubong Okun, who was a 7'1" senior coming in from Alabama State. Got some Euros and some other freshmen on the roster here. Robert Morris, I've got to step back. You can see where they could possibly tap into some of last year's success, but so much inexperience on this roster, and I can't bet on it.
Yeah, I got to co-sign what you're saying as far as, I mean, the biggest thing for them was the step they took defensively. And it really, if they're able, if Toole's able to get that buy-in again from the team in order on the defensive side of the ball, they'll get people. I don't see them, I see them as a top half. I don't see them sliding to the bottom, going from like a first to worst. But I don't feel great about this roster. But I do think that Toole has shown that he can get buy-in on the defensive side, and he even acknowledged it. Like that's where he saw like the biggest improvement last year. It's really going to be about maintaining that defensive identity. If they're able to do that, they'll be chippy. If they don't, it could be a rough season. So I think so there's a low floor, but there's also a reasonably high ceiling with this team.
Yeah, it could be a shit show of a year.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, how many one possession games or how many single digit games did they win last year? 1, 2, 3, 4. They did blow out a couple. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, 10 out of their 15 league wins were by 3 scores or less. Dude, they're going to take a step back. I mean, they're going to be more in the middle of the pack. Split the difference between the two, 26 and 10. 16, they're more of a 500 program, I think, this year. There's just so much unknown with this roster. They hit on every transfer last year. I think that they're not going to hit on everyone this year.
Yeah, last year they also had a couple of power conference transfers previously in their career. You don't have that this year, and
correct.
I think that is a big difference.
I agree.
Clint Sargent, baby, taking over last year for another guest of the Coaches Tour. Took over for Scott Nagy, year number 1. He finishes 15 and 18, 8 and 12 in league play. Finished 8th. I don't want to call it a disappointing year, maybe a slightly disappointing year, but it also was a first-year head coach, taking over a legend who went over to Southern Illinois. Noah, does this program bounce back and get back into the top 5?
I have them doing it because, again, I think I might be approaching this one a little bit differently with trusting program pedigree. Sargent is a young and experienced coach, but the defense was rough last year, and the offense wasn't nearly as elite as it usually is for the Raiders. This year, there's some continuity in the backcourt, which they did not have last year. It's still young. Both of these guys played 20 minutes a game for Wright State last season. Solomon Callahan and Logan Woods. Callahan, his redshirt freshman year, played 23 minutes and shot 37% from 3 on 3 attempts a game. They're going to look to him or Woods to kind of piece together the roles at the 1 because they lose their point guard from last year and Keaton Norris. But yeah, those two guys, I'm relatively high on them with them coming back. And then I'm high on Brian Atumnu. He's a really physical big man. Last year in the Merrimack system, they played a little bit of zone, and he still averaged 6 boards and 2.5 blocks a game. Wright State's not going to throw that much zone at you. And this is a really good defensive piece. And he was also not bad offensively. He can step up and shoot a three. He can shoot, like just lay it in there for you. He was 52% from the floor last year, averaged 8.5 points, 6 boards. Capper, I think you mentioned it for one of the previous players we talked about.
Mhm.
Etumnu is one of my favorites for preseason, or like my preseason pick
I could
for
see it.
player of the year. I think he's going to be so good for Wright State this year. I like the two returning guards. You also have Michael Imariagbe. There's no way I drilled that, but he comes back in the front court as well. He's also a graduate senior. Sam Alamatu is a Vermont transfer coming in. He's a 6'5" graduate senior, front court player. Played 24.5 minutes a game for the Catamounts last year. Averaged 5.5 and 6.5, with 2 assists a game. So he adds a little bit of that dynamic to your offense if he's in there. But overall, I'm looking at the backcourt, and you've got Dominic Pangonis coming in from Stephen F. Austin. They were not a great team last year, but he played 21 minutes his freshman year, and he provides some length. He's a good defensive piece as well as a 6'7" sophomore. So I look for Wright State to improve on that defense because that was such an issue for them last year. And I think a little bit of the continuity in the backcourt is going to help them out so much on the offensive side of the end. On the
Yeah,
floor.
this is a 3-and-D team in like the truer sense of the word. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm looking at Youngstown State. I'm terribly embarrassed. Yeah, last year the shooting was exceptionally rough for them. It was not the same offense that we've been kind of grown used to seeing. I think that takes a step forward. I love Atumno as a get for them. To echo your point, I think that's a great get for this program. He should have success in this league, and it wouldn't shock me if he was right there. Among the names, for he should be on the short list for all conference, and he could be a player of the year candidate for sure. Excited to see how that turns out. I kind of like this roster. I kind of like the fact that it's like the year after, the crummy year. It's a good bounce back spot for them. I got them. I think I've got them upper half. I don't think I'm going to have them cracking the top 4, but I'm going to have them being competitive.
Yeah, I like Sargent, man, and I think learned on the job a little bit year number 1, as expected. He is a young head coach, but he was with Nagy for forever. He's only 37 years old. He played for Nagy at South Dakota State, was with him over the last 9 years. I think this is finally going to be his team, his thumb on the pulse of this program. So I think they come back into form here. I think they do finish in the top 5. I like the returning production here. Towards the top of the league, where not a lot of returning production is. Final team, Ethan Faulkner over there at Youngstown State, 21-13 last year. He was with Calhoun the year before that, or years before that. This is a good program, man. Good staff. They have just built this thing up, and where we expect them to win. Another really good up-and-coming coach. He played at Northern Kentucky. Love Faulkner. Think he's doing a good job, him and his staff, and they're going to contend for the Horizon. Noah, what you think?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shock to the system last year in year 1 for Youngstown State because they were so good on the glass previously under Calhoun. Yeah, they were so good on the glass, and last year they took a big step back in that aspect. They are recommitting into that. I think that was definitely a sign of this transfer portal class. You got Vladimir Salaridze coming in from UT Martin, one of those Euros that Schulman does so well bringing in and recruiting. He's 6'7", sixth-year guy. He's physical. Put up 11 and 8 last year, 2.5 assists as well. He is a good D-man in the post. He averaged 2 steals a game last year, shot 36% from 3. Chris Carroll is a returning piece in the front court as well. A 6'6" senior forward, played 20 minutes a game last year, averaged 9 and 5, shot 36% from deep on 3 attempts, averaged also over a steal per game in the front court. And then the other returning guy is Jason Nelson, a 5'10" redshirt junior who averaged 2.5 assists a game last year, 8 points, 2.5 boards in 26.5 minutes. He's a redshirt senior, provides some experience in the backcourt. But yeah, I mean, Salaridze, the 8 boards a game and ability to shoot fits that identity because this is a team that is going to definitely, get in your face defensively, and they offensively want to take some threes. You got Cam Pollitt coming in from Cal PA, shot 35% from three. Bryson Dawkins at Houston Christian took 6 threes a game at a 32% clip and averaged 14.5 points, 5 boards. Rich Rolfe averaged 3 rebounds a game in 17 minutes at Charlotte. Also took 2 threes a game in limited time. Andrew King averaged 4.5, 4, and 3.5 at Elon. He can shoot a 3 for you. Tay Blackshear is a 6'6" junior who can also pass it in the front court. He averaged over 2 assists last year at McLennan Junior College, which is another really nice and good junior college in Texas there. D2 guy from Lake Erie who is also able to shoot the 3 ball. Last year he didn't do it great though at the D2 level. Played a little bit of point, averaged 3 assists a game. And then an AI transfer from College of Idaho, shot 39% from 3. Tyler Robinette, he averaged 9.5 and 5. But you could clearly see that they looked to improve the rebounding because that was a big issue for them last year. They bring in shooters. They have some experienced pieces returning this year. Last year, they basically had nothing returning. So Penguins, I've got them in the middle of the pack once again because I'm not like extremely bullish on Faulkner yet and his coaching chops, but the Flightless Birds, I've got them kind of in the same spot as last year with a slightly better defense. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Youngstown State.
Okay. Again, this is a 3-and-D team in the true sense of the word. The defense was actually pretty solid last year. The shooting was not the greatest. They took the most threes out of any team in the Horizon League last year. At 47% of their shots came from beyond the arc in Horizon League play. They only shot 34%. That needs to improve if they're going to see success. I think it will. I like the depth. I like that they have an identity, and I've got them in the top 3 this year. I'm really bullish on them. I like this. I like these Penguins.
I do too. I like the way they finished year number 1. They were sitting kind of near 500, 8-5 in league play, and then they ran off 5 out of 6 down the stretch, and then got all the way to the championship game before falling to Robert Morris. So yeah, I like these Penguins, man. To compete for the league title, I think.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, 1 through 11. 11.
11 is the easiest 11 I think we've. Oh, I take that back. We've had some pretty easy 11s.
Green Bay.
Yeah. Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Number 10.
10, I got Cleveland State. The entire roster is just a big portal grab bag. And also it's a little bit of a culture shock as they're changing the identity of the program. So I got them taking a step back in year 1 of a new coach.
Yeah, same. Cleveland State at 10, similar reasons. New coach, a lot of new guys, a lot of moving pieces. This year's gonna be about building a program and saying that setting culture, building a program, and finding an identity. It's not gonna be about success.
I have Robert Morris. I have him all the way back down to the basement here.
Wow,
regression year. I don't hate the team. I do think that there is a huge separation from 10 to 11.
Agreed. Oh, big time.
Bienick, what are you going for 9?
Detroit. They return the most minutes in the league. I'm relatively soft on my analysis with Montgomery. I think he's going to be all right. And yeah, they just lack a ton of offensive talent. It's really just Lovejoy, and then we'll see what happens.
I'm exactly the same, Noah. Detroit.
At number 9, that's where I have Cleveland State. Year 1, Rob Summers. So I'll have the Vikings here.
Okay, 8.
At 8, I got IU Indy. For me, I think it's a super unique system that I want to see at the D1 level and how it works. It's going to be tough to prep for because they press on D. They're going to shoot threes. It's a very active squad. I've got IU Indy 8th.
Okay. At 8, I'm going to go I'll go Wright State at 8. I just think yeah, I see the team taking a bit of a step back. The roster isn't quite where I thought it was. Yeah, they're gonna, it's gonna be a rough year in Wright State, I think.
At number 8, I went the hospital. Montgomery year 2. I think they take a step forward here. They're building in the right direction.
For sure.
7, I got Purdue Fort Wayne. Inexperience, lacks some depth, and a rim protector. So there's quite a few holes here. It's not a team that I feel so bad about, and I have them in the basement. But also, I don't think they have a very high ceiling. So they're the easiest team to put kind of lowest I could.
Okay.
PFW.
All right. We're at 7.
7.
I've got the artist formerly known as Ooey Pooey IU Indy. I think this is a big step forward for this program. Actually, I love that they're bringing there's kind of that continuity with the coach where he's bringing in his guys. And this is going to be kind of a tone setter year.
I also have Ooey Pooey, IU Indy here. Like I said, I like the hire at Howlett. I think the floor is going to be lifted here, and this league is going to be pretty open, by the way. We'll talk about it at the end with 20 games schedule, what the winning record will be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this league. I got IU Indy at 7 as we transition into the top
half. 6, I've got Robert Morris. Really just lacks D1 playing experience. They've got some D2 and JUCO studs coming in. I think they're really trying to emulate last year's team. They have some athletic. They're a way more athletic program than they were in their first few years in the Horizon. They have another big like Euro big man who can be a rim protector and add some offensive pop. I just think last year was a little bit too much of a flash in the pan to believe that this is continued success for this program.
Totally fair. 6, I got IPFW.
I got Northern Kentucky at 6, middle of the pack for Darrin Horn and company. More of the same, what they've been over the last 2 years.
At 5, I'm going Youngstown State. They really made an effort to get back to what worked so well with Calhoun and just dominating the glass. And they've got a really good home court environment.
Mm-hmm.
And Faulkner's also trying to improve that shooting. That way it fits more of his system. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Youngstown State 5.
Okay. At 5, I've got the mighty Northern Kentucky. Again, it's about where the program has been for the past few years, like in that same kind of blob.
At 5, I got Wright State, Clint Sargent, year number 2. They get out of the bottom half here, jump back into the top 5.
At 4, I've got Wright State. The offense just wasn't elite as it has been previously in years for this program, but I really like how much improved that the defense is going to be with some of the new pieces. So I got the Raiders 4th.
Okay. At 4, I've got Robert Morris. Step back from the dream season, but I still think they're going to be. I kind of trust in the coach and trust in the program. They've done it before, and I think they're going to see success. They're going to be more successful than they've been in before last year, this season, but not nearly where they were last season.
I went Fort Wayne, man. Year after the year, everybody had them in the top 4 last year. They didn't crack top 4. They get back in the top 4. Coffman and company.
All right.
3, I've got Milwaukee. To me, you're taking a couple of gambles on some guys in the backcourt that I just don't think fit with Milwaukee. The depth is not there, like a lot of inexperience at the D1 level. They do have a good rotation of 6 or 7 upperclassmen here, and that's definitely a positive. But yeah, I've got this team with not a whole lot of they don't return a single starter from last season. I got them competing at the top of the division, but not necessarily for a title. Milwaukee 3.
Okay. At 3, I've got Oakland. Again, I like the depth. I like the athleticism. I like the length, and I think they got the coach that's going to be able to. That's showing he can compete in this league. This is honestly probably I really, aside from the dream season, this is probably one of the better rosters they've had in the last few years. I like this team a lot.
I went with the Grizz at 3 as well. Kampe and company, I like the returning production. I think they split the difference between the special year and last year. So I got them in the top 3 again.
Sure.
At 2, I've got Northern Kentucky. They returned 2 seniors that played 20 minutes a game last year. I think they really repaired the backcourt with some senior guards that I like. And Darrin Horn's had 5 top 1 or 2 defenses in the Horizon League. I've got Northern Kentucky competing for a title. I've got them second.
Okay. At 2, I've got Youngstown State. Again, love how deep the roster is. They have that identity, and I think they're going to play truer to it than they did last year. I like this team a lot. Big on Youngstown.
I went Bart Lundy at 2 with Milwaukee. I think another second place finish here. I like the identity, toughness, size, physicality. Give me the Panthers finish second here in the Horizon.
Okay.
You guys bullied me out of my number 1 choice originally, which was NKU. Now I've got Oakland. I'm going all homer on you guys. Tuberu coming back at the 5, who was an absolute monster in the second half of the year, averaged 14 and 7. He did a really good job at getting some length for this zone once again. It'll be a slow start in November and December, but come conference play, I think Kampe's got a good mix of shooters and active defenders, and that's definitely what you need with the Golden Grizzlies if you're looking for a successful year. I've got Oakland winning the regular season.
Okay, I've got Milwaukee again. I really like the backcourt. I love the front court pieces, and I can see the rotation in the roster fitting together, and I can see that it's a rotation and a roster that have done really well in the Horizon League in years past. I mean, with that type of construction. So I'm all in on these Panthers, and the odds actually went up to 7-1. So I'm gonna have to jump back in.
I agree with that placement.
I like Milwaukee. I like Oakland. Good picks. They're going to finish second and third. But Youngstown, the Penguins, return to the top of the standings. Faulkner, year number 2. I think I like you said. I think they're going to be better defensively. I think they're going to be tougher here. More of his identity. Like Youngstown to get it done here, and year 2 the Faulkner era and win the regular season.
Okay. My tournament winner's Wright State. I think it's going to click for Sargent this year. He's got 2 guards that played 20 minutes a game coming from last season, staying in the program with a little bit of continuity in the backcourt. And then I love the big man coming in from Merrimack, Brian Eptumno. Last year played in the zone and averaged 2.5 blocks a game. I think he's going to be so big for the Raiders this year, and I think it all clicks in the second half of the season for Wright State.
Okay, I got a weird one. I'm going to go with Ooey Pooey. IU Indy to win the conference tournament and go dancing this year. Dream season for the D2 kids.
I'm going with Lundy. Dude, they've got him bounced by Oakland back-to-back years. I think they get it done this time. Maybe they avoid Oakland in the tournament somehow. If they could just avoid Oakland, you just can't beat Oakland and Kampe with that zone because they can't shoot. So as long as they can avoid Oakland, I think that they can win it. Oakland gets picked off early by Northern Kentucky. Yeah, that's in the 3-6 matchup.
Horizon League basketball preseason poll. Is there one out there? There is. Okay, so Milwaukee's number 1. So maybe 7-1 is not a bad bet. They had 24 first place votes. Oakland's number 2 with 7 first place votes. Youngstown State's number 3 with 2. Robert Morris number 4 with 8. Purdue Fort Wayne 5th with 1. Northern Kentucky 6th. Wright State 7th. Cleveland State 8th. Detroit 9th. IU Indy 10. And Green Bay 11. Sleepers and busts. We're looking for like a 2 to 3 spot improvement compared to that media poll. And then the bust or disappointment 2 to 3 spots below, or we can go into last year's win totals if we don't have obvious sleepers or busts. My obvious sleepers, Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, my obvious bust is Bob Morris at 10th. What were they preseason?
They were picked 5th or 4th. 4th with 8 first place votes.
Oh, what? It's a one-hit wonder last year.
IU Indy is my sleeper, I think.
Youngstown's my sleeper to win the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
They were picked third here.
I got them second. Okay.
I don't know.
Where was Northern Kentucky on the list?
Northern Kentucky was sixth.
That's about where
I've got them second.
Yeah,
so.
I've got them fifth. So.
All right, man.
You can go off of last year's standings for win total or whatever. Bust for me, I think I'm going to go Purdue Fort Wayne. I've got them seventh and they're fifth with a first place vote. That's about as best that I can do. Capper, did you do both?
Sleeper is IU Indy for me. Bust.
Yeah, I don't know if you named a bust.
I don't know that I have. I guess Cleveland State. I mean, they finished second last year, and I've got them.
Fair if we use last year's rankings.
I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait to say Robert Morris bust.
I guess I'll say Romo. I mean, I've got them. I think fourth or fifth.
They're in Pittsburgh. Fade.
Now
all right, guys.
Makes sense. He's back in Faulkner to win the league. He hates Romo.
Oh yeah. That was fool's gold last year. So anyway, college football coming up next, week 9. Hard to believe already in week 9, but yeah, 22 previews down, 9 to go. Tomorrow night we got. Let's see what my sheet says. The WCC in the Big West. Sunday night we got the SEC. Monday we got the Big Ten and Ivy. And then later next week, Conference USA, Missouri Valley, the AAC, and the A10. That's all we got. Go check out the Locks and Dog podcast with Cannabis Capper. Go check out the college baseball experience. Bienick will be breaking down the Tennessee coaching search, I'm sure, and the hockey slap shots picks over there. So much more. Go check out me in 3 minutes over there at the College Football Experience, Main Sports Gambling Podcast. We got a bunch of shit going on. Great time of year. World Series going on as well. Go check out those guys. NBA, good stuff. And yeah, that's all I got. This is the College Basketball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here now. Don't get banned on TikTok.
Or get banned on TikTok.
Damn, communists are after me.
We're repping IU Indy and Eastern Illinois this year at the D1 level. Come on.
Wear a USA ad, you can ban on TikTok. Pretty obvious.